My understanding of what Mr. Tayo did for us was to give us wings so that we could fly.
He left a legacy. He impacted lives positively. He gave himself, he gave his resources. He transformed Chidi Bank.
This man has become so successful and he's now helping other people to succeed. He's not only doing things for himself, he's now thinking about how to impact the lives of other people.
If I were to think about Uncle T, one of the things that I think struck me the most about him, and I think that's one of the things that people say the most, is his humility.
I wish there'd be more people like him in the corporate landscape of Nigeria.
This is a man who, despite the amount of power in terms of the financial institution he controls, would enter into the room and you will not know he's there.
He believed in their lives, he believed in their future, and provided that opportunity and that platform.
The debaters celebrated Tayo, and I think his loss is very, very painful.
My name is Abudu. I'm the executive producer and the creator of The Debaters. So I guess it's a project that I'm particularly passionate about. But this is not really about me. This is really about saying thank you. It's really about remembering someone that's been very dear to us on the particular journey that we have taken with The Debaters. And it's about a year ago, Uncle T passed away. I think it was a sad moment for many, many, many people, particularly sad for us. I wouldn't say I was sad just because of The Debaters. I would say that I was sad because Nigeria lost a good person, a really, really good person.
As far as Tayo was concerned, his interest in the program was beyond that of merely being the managing director of the sponsoring bank. It was a personal thing because I think it tied in with his philosophy, which was a philosophy of support for noble causes.
The first time I met Uncle T was a couple of years ago at the season finale of The Debaters. And he said to me, "You're the young man we see on television. You're doing a good job." And those words were encouraging enough until he reached out his hand and shook mine and said, "You will do great things." And for me personally, those words have served as the enabler and the catalyst for many things that I'm involved with today.
When I first met Uncle T, you know how they say it's not what the person says, but how they made you feel? For me, that's the memory of Uncle T that I have. It wasn't, I actually can't even remember what he said to me, but I know that I left there feeling like a better person, like I could make a difference.
A year on from the program, we were off air for 1 year. And I still have people coming up to me and asking, when is this show going to be back on air? It made such an impact, and it's not just, it's kind of like across the board. Young people, old people. I go to even places like Ghana and people ask me, "Oh, I recognize you from The Debaters. It was such a fantastic show." Mainly because it dealt with the issues. It dealt with all kinds of issues, you name it. And that's what that show brought to a lot of people. It dealt with issues that were close to people's hearts. And that's what Tayo Aderinokun brought to it. He gave the youth of today a voice.
Cheating is really a lesser of three evils. Instead of staying in the house and making everyone else's life miserable or getting a nasty divorce, Cheating is a temporary release on the way to a permanent solution.
My concern is now you, your mental and emotional health. How can you deal with it? Do you feel able to cope? First, are you willing to take steps necessary? Contrary to your position that perhaps talking this is all very foreign, the truth is, sir, we have a deficit here.
All. Thank you.
If women are stronger in a marriage and maybe a husband strays for an unknown reason and nobody really knows about it, you're advocating for her to leave. So where does that leave strength in a marriage?
First of all, women are not yet stronger in the marriage. I'm hoping
you're
that
changing your view?
No, I'm saying that I'm advocating for a stronger woman.
It was a great experience working with Uncle T. It was actually an honor working with him, and he was a phenomenal character. A lot of people might not understand the way in which I encountered him or I appreciated him. But what I liked the most was the fact that he wasn't one to interfere with proceedings or decisions that were made on the show. As far as he was concerned, there were professionals that were working on the show, and the professionals knew what they were doing, and he didn't feel the need to impress his views or opinions.
I came in contact with him in 2008, if I'm right. That was during the first season of Debaters. His is a life of humility and simplicity.
When I think about Mr. Tayo Aderinokun, one of the things that comes to my mind is he's what you call a dream maker. There are times you have dreams and you just get to a point you really don't know what to do with the dream. It's as if nothing can come out of the dream anymore. And somewhere along the line, a dream maker just crosses your path. And one of such dream makers is enough to make everything happen. They're not going to do everything for you, but they just launch you out on a platform, and that platform is all you need to make things happen for you.
Chinedu, those who have had their prem canals cracked for them by a benevolent spirit should not forget to be humble. Those are the words of the Council of Elders to Okonkwo. Having become successful, ridiculed and disdained other young men, we should understand wisdom. Thank you.
We sit and say, America is a great nation. Why are they great? Because they have given opportunity, equal opportunity to both the old and the young. That is what has made America a great nation. Meanwhile, in our country today, the elderly have a history that cannot be taken away from them. Some the civil war, some have failed to settle with others. And what has it brought us? It has brought us nepotism and ethnicity, and has been the bane of our national development.
Speed kills. When you try to speak too fast, we don't understand what you're saying. So I'd like you to slow down so that you can enunciate your words and articulate them better.
I remember him as a great model and a great benefactor. And the Debaters family, we truly miss him. We missed him so much. It's been 1 year. And as we remember him, we remember his great commitment to social empowerment as far as the youth are concerned. And I'm a great beneficiary of his belief in an initiative that is pro-youth development, ably powered by Abudu, who is the initiator of the Debaters reality TV show.
Oh my goodness, what a feat, what a champion. It's Debater 6, Chinedu. Chinedu is the Debater of the Year 2010, our champion. Wow. Fantastic.
New przyjaciół. Człowiek wjechał.
And also, let's welcome the Managing Director of GT Bank, Mr. Tayo Aderinokun, to the winner, congratulations, Chinedu Chidi, the check of 3.5 million naira.
I had a great time on the show. I met a fantastic group of people. I had an opportunity to have a lot of fun on television, which is something I always wanted to do. There is something that I believe in concerning my country, Nigeria. And it is the fact that the average Nigerian, the Nigerian youth, needs someone to make them a believer, or to make a believer of them. A believer in the concepts of hard work, commitment to duty, the importance of giving back to society. The average Nigerian needs that. And in the past few years, perhaps even decades, Tayo Aderinokun has stood out as one of those few people that the average Nigerian, that the youth can look up to and say that I want to role model this person, that I want to adopt this person as my mentor. With the many initiatives, the Day Waterman College, GTB Bank, the Nigerian Success Story Bank, and then with the debaters, he has touched too many lives.
I remember when I first met him, for the first 15 minutes when we spoke, I didn't actually know he was the MD of GT Bank. It was someone that was sitting next to us that pointed out that this is actually the MD of GT Bank, you know, and he wants you to come on board with his team. And I thought, oh, is that the MD of GT Bank? It's so understated, you know, and if in spite of all his achievements, he was able to keep a level head. I really respect that about him. The other thing I really respect about him is his contribution to society. You know, he started GT Bank, I mean, for all the celebration we have about GT Bank today, they started about 20 years ago amidst a host of challenges. I remember back then, especially when I was growing up, a lot of people were thinking of how they can leave the country, how they can go overseas and, you know, get a degree and settle abroad and all that kind of thing. But here was someone who had those opportunities but decided to add value to our society. Faced a lot of challenges but ended up building it into a global enterprise. I think that's something that's really commendable.
When I think of late Tayo Aderinokun, I remember a quote by John C. Maxwell that says that success is a discovery of purpose, growing towards your maximum potential, and sowing seeds to benefit others. All three descriptions fit in to the personality of Tayo Aderinokun. His bank sponsored the debaters, and for some of us that we had great dreams and ideas, and we're just looking that someday, somehow, somebody will hear us, somebody will support us, somebody will help us and believe in us. And that was exactly the kind of helping hand that Tayo offered us.
I believe I was fortunate to have been on that show because of one man. A man who had a lot of dreams, who had belief in people, a man who believed he could make a difference. I was there because of Uncle Tayo Aderinokun. You see, I know that every youth in Nigeria looks for a chance to make a difference, but not everybody has a chance to have his voice heard. I had that chance because of Uncle Tayo Aderinokun.
A healthy financial sector is a necessary condition for our economy to progress.
Ladies and gentlemen, if the CBN had not intervened, these CEOs would have converted our financial Garden of Eden into a financial Saharan desert.
The CBN merely took new wine and put in old wineskins. We can only pray that the fate that befalls such wineskins does not befall the Nigerian banking sector. Thank you.
Let us embrace the true spirit of corporate governance as we extol the ethics of professional banking. Let us congratulate the millions of Nigerians whose fortunes have been safeguarded by this excellent decision. Join us as we revive our economy and reform our nation. Thank you for your attention.
You've got composure, you've got confidence, you've got poise, you've got pace. What else do I add? Well done.
You've got to be very careful if you want to stay in this game.
Uncle Tayo was a very humble person. I met him at the opening of the Day Waterman College, and I particularly admired his congenial demeanor.
At the Waterman College, our vision is to provide the best environment possible for the education of young ones.
He had no airs about him. He was a very happy person. Again, he greatly supported the youth. He gave us a voice. He supported the debaters. He enjoyed what we did. He encouraged us to do what we were doing. And till date, I think The Debaters is one show that has greatly impacted the youth. If you go to the Facebook page, you know, people had an opportunity. It brought out the youth from their shell. They wanted to speak and they had so much to say, but they didn't have the platform. Uncle Tayo made that possible.
When I think about The Debaters and, you know, the journey and some of my fondest memories of The Debaters, some of them are quite, you know, quirky and funny, because I think obviously we start with the auditions, and we have auditions in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Kano, and we meet some of the wannabe Obamas and Martin Luther Kings, and you know, and some of them are just quite comical. I mean, you see the judges and they're just cracking up, thinking, where on earth have these people come from? But in the midst of this, we obviously find our shining stars who eventually become the 14 talkmates that go into the academy. And then we reveal the debaters to the public, and we call it the reveal ceremony, and in partnership with our sponsor.
We've now come to that part where we would be unveiling the debaters to the media.
My name is Chinedu Chidi. I'm a graduate of English from the University of Abuja. I've always craved the opportunity to air my views on an international platform.
My name is Omoaholo Omoakale. I'm a postgraduate student of the Masters of International Law and Diplomacy program.
The involvement of GT Bank in the debaters, I think it was a very strategic move on the part of the bank, because a lot of people already believed in the GT brand, and when people found out about the kind of show the debaters was, nobody was surprised that it was an organization like GT Bank that was involved.
I think for me, the joy in the debaters is the lives of the people that Amechi has touched. Knowingly or unknowingly, he has changed the lives of so many youth, and not just the youth that come on the show, the youth that actually watch the show, the emails that we get, the comments that we get, the feedback that we've had. I know how it has impacted the youth of this nation in Nigeria and across the continent.
First of all, the debaters was the first of its kind. Most reality shows you have a song and dance, which is okay in its way. It's still about discipline and order, but the debaters was knowledge, and nobody left the program without a vastly improved knowledge of how the world works and so on.
The debaters encouraged nation building both on an individual and on a communal level, and for that reason I am very proud to have been part of it, and I hope that it will soon be back on the air.
Abiola. Well, I found on the whole your presentation was confident. I think you need to work on your aspirants. It's not our independence, but our independence.
Ene, I love your optimism. It was burning. And you had a great conclusion. Seeing clearly again is golden. That did it for me. Well done.
His passing came as a shock. We met briefly at the airport on a trip shortly before he passed, so I was even surprised when I heard that he had passed. But it was refreshing to me when I went for some of the wake and other activities, and I found out that a lot of people felt the same way I did about him, and it made me happier. So it was a great experience. I wish there'd be more people like him in the corporate landscape of Nigeria. That would always be a great support to the media.
This is a man who, despite the amount of power in terms of the financial institution he controls, would enter into the room and you will not know he is there. This is a man who, as the MD of a financial institution as strong as Guaranty Trust, will be the one to stretch his hand to give you a handshake. I mean, I was so, I felt so overwhelmed the first time that occurred.
As a legacy and as a reflection of Tayo's philosophy of growth and development and youth empowerment, and not just the cliche, but the true element of youth empowerment, which is essentially founded on knowledge. I think, you know, the debaters celebrated Tayo, and I think his loss is very, very painful. And I would pray that somebody or some company or some agency or individual would honor Tayo's memory and his efforts and his beliefs by sponsoring or continuing to sponsor a similar program that emphasizes on the growth of character and the growth of knowledge and all the things that Tayo in his lifetime reflected and projected.
He believed in their lives, he believed in their future, and provided that opportunity and that platform for them to be all that they could be.
And I think that the Debaters reality TV show continuing would be a great way to immortalize Uncle T. We think that he did a great thing for the Debaters. We believe that he contributed significantly to the promotion of ideals that will help develop society. And we think that the best way, the very best way to immortalize him would be to contribute significantly to the sustenance of the great initiative which is the Debaters.
My understanding of what Mr. Tayo did for us was to give us wings so that we could fly. Before then, we were just all 14 people sitting in our houses with different dreams, different aspirations. I don't think any of us ever thought that someday we could be on TV, speaking to thousands and millions of people across the world. Mr. Tayo's contribution did that to us.
He had money, he had pedigree, he had good education, yet none of those things would I say got into his head and made him become, quote and unquote, someone that people would not be able to talk well about after he left. He left a legacy, he impacted lives positively, he gave himself, he gave his resources, he transformed GT Bank. He did things that even till now, people are still talking about. And that for me is a true definition of living.
At some point, I even remember going to the Waterman College when we were on Debaters Season 1. And all I could do was think, this man has become so successful and he's now helping other people to succeed. He's not only doing things for himself, he's now thinking about how to impact the lives of other people. Not too many people think like that. There are only a few of them. And to think that he's really interested in helping other people get a launch pad in life. And those are platforms they would never even forget in their career. So I got that kind of opportunity and I will never forget Mr. Tayo Aderinokun.
At the point when I got on the Debaters, I needed an opportunity to showcase myself somehow. I was needing something. I was needing to prove that I had something to give on whatever platform. And the Debaters gave me that opportunity. So indirectly, Tayo Aderinokun has blessed my life.
For what he has done, from a regular person on the streets of Lagos, regular Nigerian, I have become an international author, publishing my first book, Get Mad. Uncle Tayo is the kind of person that we need in this country. People that don't only care about themselves, but they care about the future generation. Not just about their children, but about people that are like children to them they didn't give birth to. Giving himself as a selfless person not just to his bank, not just to his town, not just to his nation, but to the entire world.
Today we celebrate his life. We do not mourn him because he lived a great life. We celebrate his life. And we believe that if we continue to believe in his vision by actively promoting the ideals and the visions and the initiatives he supported, that society will be a better place. Nigeria will be a better place.
I remember him with a deep sense of gratitude for providing this platform for me and countless others, and also for giving me a chance to be somebody. Thank you, sir. I'm very grateful.
We miss him, and I know he's resting in peace, and I know that there's a great satisfaction that in the time God allotted him, he achieved great things and affected positively many, many, many people.
In all, I can only wish him to rest in peace, and in his memorial, some of us whose life he has touched will continue to carry on some of his legacies, the ones we learned from him, and I use this opportunity to say goodbye again, Uncle T.
All I want to say is thank you very much, Tayo Aderinokun. I hope you rest in peace, because you've given us all a chance to hear what the youth of today think of a lot of important issues.
Uncle T, thank you so much for this, and may your soul rest in perfect peace.
Uncle Tayo, I'm going to miss him so much. I have missed him ever since his passing, you know. And from my heart, I say, may his soul rest in perfect peace.
If I were to have a mentor or a hero, it would be a man like Uncle Tayo Aderinokun. I would not say to the family, I know that the loss is almost unbearable and time may not necessarily heal it. But time will show how much grace, how much power, and how much difference he has made in our world. If we have a chance to make a difference, let's make it like Uncle Tayo. Uncle Tayo, we miss you. Rest in peace.
I would say that good people would always be remembered as a blessing. Uncle Tayo would always be remembered as a blessing.
I see him as a dream maker, and I would always remember him as somebody who made a part of my dreams come true. Thank you, Mr. Tayo.
Uncle Tayo, you're not here with us, but we remember you. We celebrate you. Thank you.
I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to him. And even though he's left, his legacy remains with us, forever emblazoned in our hearts and minds. His legacy of achievement, his legacy of contribution, his legacy of giving, his legacy of humility. We will take those with us, those will inspire us to be much more than we are currently today. Thank you, Uncle T.
Uncle T, may your soul continue to rest in perfect peace. We really, really, really miss you.